Hey y'all, welcome back to Knitting in Our Jeans. I'm Liz.
I'm Carolyn.
And we're a day late.
You want to explain the hoo-ha that went on yesterday?
Yeah, so the reason we're late is because I have a wedding I'm going to.
And down yesterday.
Well, we have a wedding we're going to in 2 weeks, or 2 weekends, and we were checking the Airbnb reservation.
She, not we.
We as in myself and my boyfriend.
Oh, and heads up, do you know that Rhinebeck, who changed their date? Annapolis changed their dates. It's the same weekend as Rhinebeck. When your father was mooning around here, I said, you're the one who told me we weren't going, so I made alternative plans.
Good.
Yes.
So, we're going to this wedding. We booked an Airbnb with another couple, and it's listed as a 2-bed, 2.5 bath. Mom has checked the listing to confirm that we were not just blind.
No.
And upon further review, the second bedroom is the living room, where there is a lofted pallet, probably a twin size, possibly could have a bed on it. It's not explicit from photos, and a sofa bed, which is fine.
It's not
but
two
not
bedrooms.
2 bedrooms. Mind you, there are 2 very fancy bathrooms. One has a steam shower and one has a soaking tub. So why would you have 2 fancy bathrooms and not 2 bedrooms?
Because if you're a hedonist or a sybarite, this would be perfect. You could dance around the whole apartment naked and just go from one bathroom to the other, experiencing different bathing choices. But that wasn't why they chose to get this Airbnb.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
We had a bit of a panic trying to figure out whether or not we could find another. We being
She
myself
came up
and...
here, she says, I'm just going to do a couple things on the computer and then we'll record.
Yeah, because
4 hours later.
It was supposed to only be a few things. And then we discovered this issue. And so we then discovered that there are no other Airbnbs in the area for a similar price. So we are staying at the Marriott because the Marriott is a similar price now because there was a deal. So yeah, that was fun. That was 4 hours trying to figure out what we were doing and whether or not we had absolutely lost our minds. Because there were 4 people who have multiple degrees between us. Between us, I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 degrees between us.
One of the reasons her father has said we will never get an Airbnb, I think is a little reactionary, but I certainly, and what he made mention of is in the time of COVID, he is not clear on what the cleaning choices are or what's been done at the Airbnb versus the hotels. Whereas the hotels, it's a national chain. You can say, if this isn't clean, you can raise all kinds of uproar. And so when we were going to Bar Harbor, there was a lovely cabin, not a wood-sided cabin, but a lovely little house. And we could have had the whole thing for less than we had the hotel room. But we would have been doing all our cooking. Not terrible. But he said, I just don't feel comfortable in a time of COVID of going up there and doing this. And I went, okay, I got it.
And I get it for you and Dad. That makes sense.
Yeah, and he's not really good on change.
No, he's not.
So I'm glad he's now gotten to the point where let's go to a hotel.
Yeah. That took a while.
Yeah, I mean, he grew up where one did without. I mean, I have to say that I did too. I mean, when my parents took vacation, we got to go visit the grandparents.
Well, yeah.
So, we didn't go someplace. We went to see our grandparents, which was great, but we didn't travel. I didn't travel until after I married your dad.
Right.
So anyway. So, have you gotten it straightened out?
We have almost fully gotten it straightened out. I'm waiting until I am not as angry this week to cancel the reservation and submit them.
I would cancel it tomorrow.
That's my plan.
Okay.
today. Yeah, I didn't want to do it yesterday because I wanted to do it during
Work
hours, just for support
it's
reasons.
on you.
Yes.
So you definitely want to cancel that.
Oh, I will.
Tomorrow.
Well, we have free cancellation up until next
I understand
Thursday,
that.
so yeah, but I'm going to
do it
I'm going to.
expeditiously.
Yes.
And the Inner Harbor should be lovely.
I want the reservation for the hotel to be confirmed. That's
With
all.
the Marriott or the West Inn?
Marriott.
Because Marriott now also owns West
Yes,
Inn.
we know.
And
We know there are literally 9 different hotels within a 7-block radius.
because of mergers and acquisitions.
Oh, I know. Yes.
Yes.
So, yeah,
So
and we
we
were very
planned.
worried
Yes.
that, like, my boyfriend and I were very worried that the other couple would be very upset and yada yada yada. And it ended up they weren't that upset. They were very excited. They got to use points, so they were very sweet
Money
about
back.
it. It was a bit
Easier
stressful
on the budget.
for them. Yes. So it works out, but it was just a little like, oh my goodness. Between all of us, we missed this, 1, and 2.
Well, you said the pictures were different.
We're pretty sure there were other pictures when we looked at it the first time. So, all 4 of us said that when we were on the phone together last night. So, yeah, that is what happened.
So we're sorry we're a little late, but I got to finish.
You got to finish something.
Yes, I did.
But before we get to that,
All
you
right.
can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as Toolizz for you, TOLIZZFORYOU.
And I'm CPREDMOR on Ravelry. And I post as Knitting in Our Jeans on Instagram. I think I posted 1 or 2 things last
Yeah.
week. Yes, I've been doing a little more because I've been doing so much finishing.
Yeah.
Newsflash, we're going to go look at another boat on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Yes. And then there's one out on the East End. It was here in Port Washington 3 days ago.
Oh.
And now he's lent it to a friend who is taking it out to Nantucket. And it's in Greenport getting something fixed. And the salesperson didn't want to tell us what was getting fixed. The owner who called your father today told him all kinds of things.
Love it.
Yes, that had to be fixed. That was fixed one here at Capri here, and it's what's getting fixed out in Greenport. This was not, though. There are 4 such boats for sale on the East Coast.
Okay.
Yes. 3 are 2005. This is a 2003. So it's 2 years older than any of the
Is
other.
it the oldest?
Yes.
Ah.
But it's here.
Mhm.
And so it's within 2 hours we can drive. And my concern is making sure that the master bunk is correctly sized. I mean, Richard's not short.
That is 6'2",
Yeah.
with a wingspan of someone who's like 6'4", 6'.
Yeah.
6.
So, and I want, one of the reasons we got rid of the monohull, the Jeannot 36, is that the master bed or bunk was set up so that you had to do a flip
It's the V-berth.
to get out to the bathroom. I don't mind climbing out, but I would like to just take my cover off and then forward climb out. I'm getting at 68. In the middle of the night, it wakes me up too much to do a backward somersault to get out and go to the bathroom. Then I'm up for 2 hours because of the flip. I don't need this. I would like just take the covers off, crawl out, get to the bathroom, come back, crawl back in, and go out again. So that's my major issue tomorrow, is making sure Wednesday. Tomorrow I have my first PT back after I sprained my knee. I'm very excited. Because I'm hoping they're going to show me the limits of what I can exercise to do right now, and then over the weeks how we can keep expanding this so that I can get back to hiking. That would be a plus. There was another boat of a different make and model in East Norwalk, Connecticut, and Richard called today to see if we could get up to see that, and we have not heard a response back from the broker. So hopefully we'll be able to get up and see that. It's within 2 feet length of this one out in Greenport. It's a more production model than the one in Greenport. So I would like to see both of them in my same mind. I think the one out in Greenport, or as the exemplar of one that I read about down in Florida, will give us the size idea. And I know it's going to be a smallish boat because it's set up to be smallish. It's set up to be compact because it's supposed to sail better. The other one in East Norwalk is a little bit more of a wedding cake design, small wedding cake design, but you would have more space. It would not sail as well. I'm thinking that this may be an intermediate catamaran, so that we could get the one that sails well now, while he's really into doing all the sailing and moving the sails and doing all this kind of stuff, the uching. And then maybe in 5 or 10 years, sell this one and get one of those wedding cake ones where you sail a little bit to get where you want. You
and then
put
you
down
go,
your anchor,
bloop.
And then you hang off the back and you play with your toys. So we'll see.
Okay.
One of the people that worked with you, this was the
a while ago.
Greenport boat is one of a make and model that was suggested by one of her former co-workers who has been sailing years and years, decades. I think his parents had catamarans, and so he was giving me all kinds of pointers. So I'll keep you posted. I can't imagine that we would make an offer really on the one in Greenport after the owner called Richard and told him all the things he's done.
I love that, though.
He hit a rock. This guy's supposed to be mechanical engineer.
That doesn't mean that he knows where things are.
He cut the marker.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a chart display on the boat. I think he cut the marker.
Well, yeah.
I can tell you, you don't cut the markers. I've never hit a rock.
Yeah,
your father started listing all the people he's known that has hit a rock, and they all have Y chromosomes. I think there's a clue there. Yeah. So anyway, the saga continues, but I really do feel that we will have a boat by next spring.
Okay.
If not before. We were talking to people from the club yesterday, and one of the gentlemen was saying, well, if you get it down in Florida, there's this salty dog group that comes up from Florida in the spring. You can go in a convoy. This boat, is it ICW okay? I'm like, it is. And he goes, that would be great. Well, it would be.
It would be. Father would be turning 6 shades of purple.
No, I think it would be good because it would take some of the stress off.
Okay.
I really do. Because now he feels like he's solely responsible for all of the planning. And he probably has been, except for these trips where we go back to where we have been. Once I've seen a place, then I can help in the planning. I don't visualize really well and with lack of knowledge. I like to be able to see what the water will display before I make plans. So anyway, I think by next spring we'll have a boat. I think it will be a catamaran. I think it will probably be a smallish catamaran. Okay. Although I do keep bringing up the Leopard 46.
You do?
Because he keeps saying, are you sure this one's going to be enough room? I went, if you want room, the Leopard 46 has room. I think we'll probably end up with something like that later on. Because that would be a wedding cake kind of boat, and it would have all kinds of space, and it's really good for just putting around. Anyway.
Yeah? What did you finish this week?
I finished what I'm wearing, my Kohana. I actually had a doctor's appointment at 8:30 this morning, and I really didn't want to get too dressed up. It has a lump as to where it changed. It has not been blocked. At 8 o'clock this morning, I said, I'm not going to get dressed up. I have my black jeans on, and I just went and grabbed this, and I like the lace.
It looks good.
I'm very pleased. There's my side lace panel where I had it bigger for the bust line, and then I just had to go straight for several, and then I started increasing again for the hips. This is longer than the pattern called for, but I had the yarn, and it's more of what I wanted in terms of length. So now, if we are on a boat, I can lean over, grab a line, and I don't have to worry about, my midriff, suddenly fluttering in the breeze. I don't mind midriffs only if I plan on it. So I did finish this.
You don't mind other people's midriffs as much as you mind your own.
Mine's fat. So when I become Sith-like in 2 years, we figured out it's going to take about 2 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're going to become Sith-like.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Well, in my mind, that's minus 40 pounds.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just thinking.
I'm going to punch you.
I'm just saying, because Eleanor Schoen is not Sith-like.
Well, I can't help that. I have a certain weight.
There is, right, but there is, okay.
I may become a smaller spark plug. How
That's
about that?
Fine.
Sith-like in my mind.
Okay.
Wait till you get to be my age.
I
Then you can determine what 68 Sith-like is. I'm Maroon.
I don't ever want to, I will never be Sith-like. Have you seen my shoulders? Like,
it's how the rest of your body follows. Anyway. So I have finished it. It has not been blocked. I will.
I have never had a waist in my life.
Yes, you have.
Never been Sith-like.
Yes, you were. You had a waist in high school. You did. You wore those dresses that Laura sent up.
Yeah, they were okay.
Well,
yeah. I also was not the height I am now.
That has something to do with it. You said never, and I said that's not
Uh-huh.
so. Anyway, I also finished another square, and I loved this one because
That one I really like.
it's knitted in the round.
I really like that design.
And I love it. I would do a whole Afghan with this because this took 1 day.
Nice.
1 day, and it is I did a Judy's Easy Center cast on.
Oh, yep. The circle.
The circle. And that means I could get my center cast on really tight. So I'm very pleased with that.
It looks really good.
I did it on a circular needle. I did not do it on double pointed.
Reasonable. You didn't want to stab yourself.
Right. I have trouble controlling them.
Well, no, you and I both have this thing where we stab ourselves
Right here. Or they fall
Like,
out onto the floor.
Talking about it, I could feel the little, like, yeah.
Anyway, I love this. So this makes square number 9 out of 16. My goal this week is to finish another one. As I mentioned, I have all the balls of yarn numbered to match what the colors were in the original, since it came as a kit. And so I reach in, and the first ball I pull out that has a number on it, because some of them are in there are the border and the joiners. So the first ball I pull out that has a number, that's the one I do.
Nice.
I'm non-denominational, whatever.
Non-discriminatory?
That's it. I'm not biased. I just put my hand in it and pull it out.
Non-denominational. That was amazing.
You like that?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay, so anyway, I will stick my hand in and I will pull out another one. So those are 2 things I finished. Did you finish anything?
I thought I was going to have a finished thing.
What was that?
My week's input for the Cryptid Stitch Along. Unfortunately, I have a bunch of
Cthulhu?
No, that's a Mothman and that's a Nightcrawler.
Oh,
it's from Fresno.
That looks like Cthulhu to me.
It is not. It is 3 distinct creatures. It's supposed to have back stitching.
Oh,
which is what I was going to do when I arrived before we got on.
Before the 4 hours.
But before the 4 hours, and also before we got on today, when my friends, who are also doing this with me, friends from college, there's a total of myself and 3 others from college who were doing it, and I had posted an image without the creature in it and just the borders, and apparently one of the girls had mentioned to another one, like, hey, I noticed there's something off about yours, and there might be something off about Lizz's, but didn't message me because we all know that, my friends all know that if I've been focusing on one project, that they better check and make sure that if they're putting out an issue, it's an issue, because I will get real mad that I wasted time.
What did you do?
So right where the needle is stuck through, I added a stitch. So this entire piece over here is one stitch
Too far.
too far this way. So,
Does that make a difference?
yes,
Oh.
because it's going to have other things below it and around it.
Oh.
But it's okay because I don't have to take out the dudes, I don't have to take out this side, I don't have to take out the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it probably over here, rip out all of this, and then go back, sew down, or like just tack down the threads that are holding that last row and start over. It's not that much work. It is a good amount of work, but it's not that much. But yeah, so this is the Cryptid Stitch Along by Witchy Stitcher. No, I
You don't have
haven't.
enough fabric that you could just move everything else over one stitch?
I do, but I don't know how it's going, what is happening around it, so I
Okay.
don't know how much that
Okay.
will affect it.
Okay. All right.
Also because it's all supposed to fit in a frame that's already been patterned out. And so then this, so
It's
you
over
have,
one stitch.
right, and then this guy will be too close on this edge to it, and it won't match over at the borders.
Not if you have enough width this way. Just saying.
That means adding a stitch up in the top, and at the bottom, and I don't want to do that.
Fine. Do what you want. It's yours.
I know.
I would just add a stitch, which is what I did in my counter cross stitch downstairs.
I do it in not mystery ones. I'm fine with that because I know
the
what
whole pattern.
whole pattern is.
Got it.
I don't know what the whole
Got it.
pattern is, so I can't
Got
do
it.
that.
Understood. Now I got it.
You asked me the same thing.
I know, but
about
you
this one. when I've been ripping out this one.
Didn't quite understand that one either. Because you knew what the frame was going to be.
But now that I've seen this square, the lower square here, I definitely had to move it down the one because it impacts that
Right,
one.
okay.
So I will rip this out, but it's so cute. I love
It's
it.
very nice.
It's so creepy and glorious, and I'm very excited about it.
She sits over in the corner of the couch working on it on the weekend.
Well, because they get released on Fridays, and I haven't had a lot of knitting mojo.
Well, I almost fell asleep. I was working on, what I
Yes.
will show you in a little bit. And it got to be 4 o'clock. Well, first of all, I had to explain
In the
that
afternoon or AM?
in the afternoon.
Okay.
Because I had a screaming headache.
Mm-hmm.
I realized with Chipotle, we can't just say steak salad. I had to go in and I had to create the salad. I had a screaming allergic headache.
To what?
To the
Cheese?
spices that were in the steak salad. If I say...
So you can't have the steak then. The
No,
steak
no.
is the highly spicy part.
No, last time we did it, I went in and I mechanically said, not this kind of spices, put in tomato sauce or tomato-based stuff. Not to that.
Oh, okay.
And
Even though we did exactly the same thing?
Right,
Okay.
right. Because it made a difference.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can eat Chipotle if I go in and I customize the salad and throw out the spices.
Which I thought you had done because
Which
we
I
ordered...
thought I had done too, because we reordered what was
Yeah.
there, but it didn't work. Anyway,
Uh-huh.
I was dying.
Mhm.
So I took aspirin, I took Advil, I took Tylenol. I finally shot myself up
With...
Imitrex,
Mhm.
and that started bringing it down a little. But I was waking myself up not meaning to, but I was waking up every 4 hours because the pain hurt so
Mhm.
bad. So I got maybe 4 hours of sleep,
Yep.
and then I had to get up early for
For
this
your
doctor's appointment,
Mhm.
which was right because I ended up there 15 minutes early, standing out in the hall. No one was there at the appointment time. They were 10 minutes late for anybody to open the office. And then, so I ended up having my appointment half an hour later. And I was the
Aw.
first appointment, so I'm sure that day went well today.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's fine. This is just another one. I have a gastroenterologist that he likes to see me quarterly.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we've all had our shots, he can, because I didn't see him for a year and a half.
Well, yeah, because
it's just not happening. I just
Yeah.
said, we're not doing this. I said, once I get my shots, that's fine. So yeah, I mean, we've been going and seeing him for decades. So anyway, everything's fine. He just says, I'd like to see you in 3 months. I said, okay, fine. You know, and if we're away or something happens, it's easy to call and change.
Yeah.
So if that works out fine.
So
anyway, I'm tired, but I wasn't tired when I got back. So I started working on something I'm going to show you.
Mm-hmm.
But by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, my head was going like, I was just like, oh my God. And then I realized, you really didn't get sleep. So that's why you're doing this. But I managed to power through. I did fall asleep for about 10 minutes. But then your father said something, and then I was up and awake, which is good, because then I'll sleep tonight. So I actually finished the back.
Well, I was going to say, I've been working on this, and I haven't had much knitting mojo, but as you can see, I've had a lot of stitching mojo.
Yes.
So we're just taking it. We're taking it and we're using it.
This summer I did a lot. I mean, over the past year I did a lot of my cross stitch, but I have these cottons that I want to get done soon. So I finished the dress. I finished this top. And do you have anything else you want to talk about? You can
talk about that.
Okay, so this is my SAL Gris. And what I have done is I have separated for the armholes, and I have finished the back. So I have done my shaped shoulders, which is done with short rows, wrap and turn. So this is the back that is now finished. I have just inserted my needle for the stitches that were on hold, and I'm now working on doing the decreases for the sleeve on the front, and I'm hoping to finish the front this week so that I would be left with sleeves. So that would be good. So, and I really like this cotton. This works up about as easily as wool does. Unlike this thing, which I was fighting with. Now, I have to tell you, it was a warm day today. It was like 85 degrees. This was great.
Good.
This was didn't feel hot. It was just perfect. So that was fine. That was fine, but I'm glad I'm not knitting with it anymore, and I'm only left with a ball about this big.
Nice.
So I'm very pleased with that. Unlike my dress, where I could make a whole nother dress, I'll be looking for another pattern. I mean, obviously a tunic in that's kind of A-line would be lovely, because that was one of the things I was thinking about today. I might, to go wear to the doctor's office, wear jeggings or something, and then a tunic, and that would have been perfect too. And I think sailing tunics would be, not just long shirts, but tunics would be good. So anyway, that's what I'm going to start looking at, a pattern for that, the 2 balls of yarn that I have left over for the dress. I think that'll be excellent. Because, the dress is great. The dress is not a tunic. It's really kind of a cover-up.
It's a cover-up due to the lacy nature.
The lacy nature of the whole thing. So I'm happy with it. Very happy with it. What else would you like to talk about? Would you like to pop about your Tamora Pierce?
Yeah, I didn't really work on it because I was trying to get the Witchy Stitcher kind of caught up. And also because the Witchy Stitcher is a lot of black, you can see. So you don't have to think as much in terms of like picking a color and working and making sure that you're using the right color. The Witchy Stitcher, you can pick black. You can, cut off a strand of black and you can just go. Which is really nice. So I still haven't finished this section. I need to finish this section. And then this section was finished last week, the design. So that is where I'm going to move, and then this will be done. It will not be done within the time of the stitch along, But it will be done, and it will be consistently
It'll be
worked on.
gorgeous.
I'm very excited for it to live on my wall under my map of Tortal.
It'll be great.
It will be, and I'm really pleased. Like, the design is really beautiful.
I like it.
It's not something that I'm going... Like, I think it's going to be something that I will love for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very impressed by people who are...
on time with it.
Well, who are stitching, like, the release within, like, 2 days, and I'm just like, that is not my life.
When I did the mystery knits
Mm-hmm.
on Ravelry,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the
Oh,
criminal
yeah.
knitters, the deal was I had to sit down and do the clue within the first 2 days, or it just didn't get done.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me forever to finish things.
Yeah.
So, okay, I took the shawl apart and used it as a sweater, and then ended up not liking the sweater. So,
Yeah.
I found that with mystery knits, I work best when
Yeah.
I work to a schedule.
Yeah. With the... You find that... You do that with the Stephen Wests, too.
I do. I absolutely do. So now that I have my yarn out, I can, because mine doesn't really pop except for one color.
Which
Just
is
to
fine.
remind you that because I've looked at the ones that he had out, and this is very similar to one of the groupings
Yes.
that he had,
Yes.
and this is all from Stash. So I will be able to. I mean, obviously this is my color pop.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will be able to, let's get it, gradations here. Yes. So gradations,
Yeah.
it looks like that.
It's nice.
Yeah, I'm really pleased.
Yeah, and I really like mine. I actually found I found a few green options. I mean, I didn't bring
Teals. Yeah.
like greeny teals, but more like deeper greens
Good.
or teals.
Good. Good.
So we can review
Yes.
as the I think as the design
it's October.
it's
right
October
the week
8th.
before Rhinebeck.
So my thought is that I'll probably start with the reds, because remember I'm going for like a leaf, like a fall leaf kind
Right.
of situation. So it's reds, orange, a tan, a light green, and then a deeper, darker green or teal.
Yes.
So I figure we could see what the release looks like. We could see what
Yes.
the colors that he's suggesting are, and then determine from there.
Right. That makes sense.
Because it's a little bit of a different, like it's similar to his colors that he's put out there of having a light, a dark, and two kind of pops. Because I think my greens are my pops. Because I think the red,
Right.
the orange, and the tan, like yellowy kind of
Blend.
they're gradient, or they work together. And those are my light, medium, and dark. And I think the other two are the pops, which he was talking about. But I think it'll be just interesting to see as it gets released.
I agree. Totally agree. So we have a week's release before Rhinebeck.
Yes.
You know, we should talk to Mary and just have her check on her
I will.
Airbnb after we've had this little debacle.
Well, I already checked it because I've seen it and I checked it and it's okay.
Have you gone on Google Maps
Yeah.
just to make sure that it's
Yes.
there? Okay, that was the other thing I was thinking
Mhm.
of. That maybe if your father and I ever did one, I'd go on Google Earth and make sure that there's a picture of it.
We in our trying to find an alternative option for the group for 2 weeks from now, we could not determine where the second bathroom was in the photos because it wasn't explicitly photographed. So we we zoomed in, we approximated where we could find the building. We then looked at the photo of the front of the house, which doesn't have the number on it, but it does show you like what it looks like. We found it on Google Maps. And then we found the Zillow listing from 2 years ago.
Perfect.
I was like, this is a next level of like trying to figure out if your Airbnb has 2 baths. And it did. It had 2.5 baths. It was very nice, but
one bedroom.
no, this was a 2-bedroom, but it was the same price as getting a hotel, and it was more out of the way of where things are
So
going to
it
be.
wasn't the one that you had
No.
originally.
No, the one that we had originally, I think we ended up finding on
Zillow,
but I can't remember. We've already moved
on.
past that.
So I have something else I worked on.
Okay. I've worked on a few other things too.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, color work.
Yes, me and color work. This
is
the
this
Knitrino.
the Knitrino?
And it is a provisional cast on somewhere. Yes, there's a provisional cast on, and then I am following. This pattern in the start is not going to be exactly what is charted because I was following the written instructions. I wish Knitrino had a step-by-step tutorial like Knit Companion has. So that
Did you check the site?
I did.
Oh, okay.
So that, I mean, it's new, and so they're updating things. I have now found that I can highlight each line of the chart, and as I highlight that line of the chart, the written instructions for that line also now show up.
Wow.
Which is really good, but this was just playing around. Also, the line on the chart isn't, for me, highlighted, it's downlighted.
Oh.
It's darkened. So is it made different? Yes. Would I like it made 2 shades brighter instead of 2 shades darker? Yes. But, so I will tell you that the last 5 rows are probably correct because I was able to use the chart. Oh, and originally I was reading the instructions and I was moving the written instructions up and then it would hide the one I had just done.
Right.
And the next round would be the next round there. Well, at row 14, it wouldn't move up any further.
Oh, yeah, because it got to the bottom of the page.
Right. And so I wrote them. I said, is there any... And they still don't understand what I'm talking about. So now that I found that there's a keystroke or a way to bring up the row with the chart, it doesn't matter. And I'm not going to keep banging on about it with them. Because obviously
when we meet them at Indy, you can
I can
show
explain.
them.
Yes, because it's on my iPad and I can see. But I've got a pattern that is, and this is my iPop here, and then obviously this is one of the gentler colors. This is my background. Whoa.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased.
It's a very you sweater. I'm very excited. I like I like it. It's great.
Yeah. So the other colors are not quite as bizarre, but I think this is a great use of when you have a poppy color that you can use something, and this is going to be up in here. So this is the provisional cast on, I think, starts about here and goes down, and then you pick it up and go up to the neck. I have not looked at what goes up. As I said, this is the first 18 rounds. And for this week, I want to do the next section.
Okay.
So whatever the next section in the pattern is, that's my goal. I am not a fast color work needle person.
No.
So
Woo!
I will, it's going to take me, I think there's something like 12 different sections. It's going to take me 12 weeks.
Okay.
But it'll be done, and I will have given a full test. So this is the color I started with. A full test of the Knitrino, and I can keep you posted on that. She did say in the letter that they're working on trying to get it so that the grid highlights instead of low lights.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask if you had mentioned that.
I did. So this is moving along. I don't normally like reading my patterns off of my iPad.
No, you don't.
Because, well, with Knit Companion, you really don't highlight the whole row in the chart. I can make the line go right underneath of it, which is often what I do. But I like crossing things out.
Yes.
So the fact that there's a way to highlight the row that you're on in the chart helps a great deal. So anyway, I will keep you all posted on that. So there is certainly progress being done on that. So I have my cell Gris, I have my color work from Knitrino, I have another square to make for my mother's Afghan, and then I've got the
Eggshell.
eggshell that I can work on, and or the Hokey Locatelli Serenity. And the eggshell is, again, it's color work, so it's really slow, but we will, I think, start back on that.
Okay.
Maybe a half a day on that and a half a day on Serenity, because the color work I really do have to focus on a lot. Whereas cables, lace, I can go like a house of fire.
See, it's
just a different
lace. I end up forgetting how to count, and so all of a sudden
markers. I have stitch markers at each pattern, and I checked if you're supposed to have 8. I have 8 in each one.
Yeah.
So that is my clue to getting it right. Color work for me is just harder. I have to really pay attention with that. Whereas with...
Well, because you're still one-handed, right? Or are you double-handed?
No, I'm double-handed. Okay. But I read, or I watch television or something. And with this, you can see I'm knitting and I'm looking at you all. Well, I can't do that when I'm using both hands. This is just not going to work.
I know. I like being able to work on this project specifically while we're on the camera or while we're up here recording, because I can actually, what I do is, I'm going to move the camera for a second to show you all. So I actually wedge the corner of my Q-snap, like kind of right under my bosom, and I rest the rest of it on the table in front of me, so I'm actually able to stitch two-handed. So it goes by a little bit faster, but it also helps with that, because sometimes I feel like I'm using, when I'm stitching, I feel like I'm using my right hand too much? In a way. It's like left hand. What are you doing? What are you doing? Whereas knitting, you use both hands. Crochet, I use both hands, but I think that's because I knit before I crocheted. But I find it is, I do understand you're able to knit and, look up and have and have a more eye contact conversation.
Yes.
I'm not ignoring you all. You know that because I'm interacting with you. Or at least I'm interacting with Mom.
Right.
And, I don't know. I figured I would.
I'm actually splitting for the neck right here, so I have to take out what I just did.
Well, and I was just pointing out that, it's, I can understand how color work can take more concentration.
Absolutely.
Because that I think is also why I've done so much on, as I said, the Witchy Stitcher stuff, because it's
one color.
Predominantly one color.
Yes, it can make a great deal of difference. So anyway, I've got a couple things to work on this week. I will be taking probably maybe either one of the squares with me out east as we drive out to Greenport, and I will probably, your father will probably drive out and I'll drive back.
Okay.
And then that would be a good plan. That would be a good day to do my square. And then again, I'd like to finish the front on the SAL Gris. So I'd be working on the sleeves. And if I get the front down, I may end up going and working immediately on the sleeves. And then it would be done. Because we're supposed to have 80 degrees the rest of this week.
Yeah, I know.
And then I think 70s next week. So I would like to get this done before it gets too much chillier.
Yeah.
We may have another hot spell.
Yeah.
You never know in September. But it would be nice to have this done in time. So that's what I've been doing. Those are my plans.
So I also, when I'm on calls, at least at home, because sometimes, you have video calls with people and such, I've been working more on my Kuschelig shawl, which is here, I think.
That is so pretty.
Yeah, so that's that. I started section 5.
Oh, wow.
So that was exciting.
It's really starting to show its shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Now that it has its corners, it helps. So I'm looking forward to it.
I like the colors you've chosen.
Thank you. It was a advent.
Right.
It was an advent.
Right,
so.
And that's the other thing I'd like to start downstairs is my advent sweater.
Yeah. I know. I have an advent sweater I'd like to do too, and I'm like, I wish I had more oomph. And more knitting mojo.
Obviously, I've got knitting mojo, and I haven't really had my cross stitch calling to me because I've got these projects I really want to get done.
Yeah, well, and as we all know, I am still working on this test knit for a friend. I actually messaged him today, and I was like, I am so sorry that this has taken so long. Just the I had wrist issues, I had yarn issues, and now I'm reaching for my cross stitch instead of my knitting. To which he goes,
"What did he say?"
That's okay.
Oh, that's sweet.
He's apparently been, I've seen on Instagram, he's been recording a lot of music, and he just started a new job, and so it's one of those things where he's like, yeah, I'm not reaching for my knitting very often either, so I understand completely, and so that was lovely, and I really appreciated it, because I feel like a bad friend, because, we're friends, and I know he told me I didn't have a deadline, but I have a deadline. But I have a deadline because, it's me, and so I think my new deadline, which was always my internal deadline, was is going to be Untangled. So we'll see.
Okay.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but I would really like for it to occur. So we'll see. But I got mail.
Did you? What did you get?
So remember, did I tell you all last week how I had a really bad day?
Yes.
I had a really bad day.
My God.
So this isn't all just from the one order. Most of it is from the one order.
Who'd you order from?
Magpie.
Oh,
They were discontinuing the Solstice DK.
Right.
So I took it upon myself to bring some lonely, lonely babies home. So I picked up 2 more skeins of Wicked Game, which I have 4 more skeins back at the apartment. I do want to make a what is it called again? A artichoke French with this. But this being DK and that being written for Aaron, I thought buying some additional yardage would be a very good idea, because then I could make a larger size in it. Right. Have the yardage. So I got that.
Have to play yarn chicken.
Exactly. So that was the original intention. So then I got I'll explain. So then I got a skein of Soiree, which is this.
I'm glad I don't have to worry about your budget.
You don't.
I don't.
No.
I can just go, ooh, ah.
It's like how I don't have to worry about your budget.
Not at all. I love this.
I know. So I got 1 skein of that. I got 2 skeins of Harpoon.
Do I now have 2 advent calendars coming?
Yes, you. Oh, yes, I meant to mention that to you. That you should mention that you ordered a Miss Babs. We'll get to that. So, yes.
Did I order the Miss Babs?
Yes, you messaged me. You did.
I did while we were away.
Yes. So last week, if you all remember, Mom going, I did something else yarny, and I can't remember what it is. That's what she did. She ordered the roses and the celebration and roses.
Yes, it's really pretty. It's pinks and creams and really nice. Yes. And I think if you look at all these colors here, I can use those as the counterpoints.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, yes.
So that and your asylum.
Yes.
And I think I still have, 4.
I think you do, too.
I have Bridgerton. I have the Bertie Parker. Which was such an impulse, but it happened. I have National Parks. I have a yak. And, I have 5. Because I have a bamboo and a linen one. That should be really interesting, because that's deep sea, and the yak one is outer space.
Okay.
But the only one that is a merino is a not blend, or is a not blend, is the National Parks one by Untangled. But the inspiration was so up my alley. The inspiration photos were so my color story, so couldn't resist. So I grabbed 2 skeins of Harpoon, which is this, medium gray. And I grabbed 1 more skein a Velvet Underground, which we all know is one of my favorite purples on this planet. So I found the other 3 that I had bought, and then I went to go put this into Ravelry today. I have another skein of it somewhere in my apartment. So I have 5 skeins of this in my apartment somewhere. Well,
Excellent.
1 more skein, so I have a total of 5. Because I bought this because I was like, I remember that I have 3. So and also it was the last one left, and I was like, you poor baby, you need to come home. So,
Of course you do.
my thought,
What is your thought here?
because I had a really rough,
It's been a rough time.
I'm having a rough time at work, at no fault of,
Things are not going quite
My
well on
team-
the build.
well, it's going, and it happened.
We
Like,
have
these
the
are all
scissors.
things that, you know, they're not expected, but they're also not,
Unexpected.
yeah,
That happens when you're doing construction kinds of work.
yes,
It happens with knitting. It happens with
Yes.
sewing. Things don't quite work out the way you think.
yes, and sometimes you can,
Power through.
power through, and sometimes you can't.
Sometimes it's just not right.
Yeah,
And sometimes it's not your fault.
yes, and I'm having to remind myself of that part quite.
I understand.
I often have a refrain of, just because I can't fix it doesn't mean I did anything wrong.
Right.
Especially if I'm not the person who broke it,
Yeah.
which I'm still working through. I don't know exactly where that's rooted, but we can unpack that some other time. So, we're having a time at work. So, of course, what do I think of? I think of sarcastic sweaters. The For Fox's Sake sweater
Oh my goodness!
by Maxim Cyr, who also has the Unbearable hoodie that I really want to make for the littles. So, I was actually texting with the my
And
manager.
you can wear that, and it's not going to be a problem.
I know. So, I'm thinking Velvet Underground will be my main color. Then the background then I have to decide. I'm going to probably end up swatching. Because either my foxes are going to be dusty pink
With the purple?
or gray instead of the white. They're always shown in white. But I'm going to swatch it.
Dusty pink.
That's what everyone else is saying, and I was like, I hadn't thought of it before. Actually, Garrity, my lead on the project, she was the one who was like, "Ooh, that I think a pink fox," and I was like, and then this would be the background for the face of the
Yes.
fox.
I think that's it.
And I
that's
think
the outside fur.
yeah, this is this. So in the example photo I'm showing you would be the orange would be my like hot pink, the fox would be in the dusty pink, the glasses and the background would be in the like medium gray, and the rest of the body of the sweater would be in the purple. And I think that it would be subtle enough that I could wear it on a job site
I don't
often.
see why not. I mean, people will say, I just like animals.
Mm-hmm. And the people I like, I'd go, yes, would you like to know the name of it?
Exactly.
So I've loved this sweater since it was released. And I do have I have a sweaters quantity set aside for this already. But this was just too perfect. So that will just become something else, which is very valid.
Oh, I know why I got the Miss Babs, because I think that one of the sets was in Caroline.
Ah.
And I've wanted to buy Caroline for the longest time since she came out with it.
Mm.
So that's why I do it.
Oh, very
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Um,
And the colors.
yeah.
So, very, very excited about that. Yes, I did that.
Yeah. You were like, this is what vacation does to me.
Yes.
And I was like, I can see that, ma'am.
Well, I think I had hurt my knee.
Yeah, no, it might have been right before you hurt your knee.
The knee was hurt on a Monday.
Oh, okay.
So This was like done on Tuesday when
Oh,
I
my
got
word.
ice on my knee.
Too much.
You know, we're just trying to figure out places to go with by himself.
Oh, poor Dad.
Yeah.
So then something else occurred today.
What happened? Oh.
So Junebug and Darlin is a cross-stitch designer who has a pattern that has a negative space and it says maker in it, and I love it. And a few months ago, they sneak peeked a knitter one, and I was like,
Is
that ready yet? And they were like, no, but it's coming soon. And by soon they meant today. So guess who already printed both the color and the black and white? Because sometimes
you need the
black and white works and sometimes the color works. So this is the pattern. It's gorgeous. I'm very excited.
It's beautiful.
I know. And of course it just happened. It was one of those things where like I saw it had been released and I was like, oh no, I'll get it like tomorrow. I'll get it tomorrow. Boom. And then like something happened and I was like,
today.
Done. So I'm really happy I have it. It kind of goes along with the fact that I've been stitching more. So that'll be fun. But yeah, that has been what I've been up to. I'm now very excited about this dusty pink fox situation.
I think it's going to be great.
I know.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
I'm debating as I knit it, I might end up switching out the medium gray for a deeper gray though. To have it pop because I'm gonna swatch to see how or I might just do the glasses on the foxes in a black.
I like that idea.
I think I might add a color and just do them in black because that'll be
that.
Yeah. Because that's the only part that I've been hesitant about trying to figure out.
I like that a lot.
Okay.
I think that'll be good.
Decision.
You got it.
I mean, I could do a purple, but the whole sweater is purple, so I can't do it.
Black?
The black would work. Yeah.
Would work.
I'm going to do it.
Excellent.
I'm excited.
Or hot red glasses.
I don't know. I
think black will stand out.
The black will stand out and also be enough that it's not, like, it's still within the color story.
Yes. Oh, I agree.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's where we're at. Sorry that we're a day late.
We were ready and then not ready.
We were ready and then calamity occurred.
Oh, she was hysterical. And I couldn't understand what was going on.
I came downstairs and I tried to explain what was happening because, like, my boyfriend and I are freaking out because we're trying to get his, like, plane tickets and all that, and we're trying to figure out, you know, how we're getting places, and I come downstairs and I explain to Mom, like, that it's going to be a little bit more, and then I come down and I'm like, I just need you to confirm that I didn't misread this. And you were like, no, it says 2 bedrooms. So, you know, it happens, but this
Not usually with hotels, though.
No.
Usually you
but
can
this
look
is
at
also
the
the
room.
first time I've had this issue with Airbnb.
This is like underscored your father's hesitation.
I know. I'm sorry.
Yes, really. So, you know, but you know, the Marriott is now has houses that one can rent.
I know.
So that may end up being in our future because then they will be the ones cleaning them. That's not really like an Airbnb. They actually have professional teams.
I have seen some of those also listed on Airbnb.
Well, I don't doubt it, but then if something's not right, you can get in touch with Marriott and then say, this ain't right. Yeah. This isn't right. And he would, if I read
he feels better going through the larger corporation of Marriott.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I know. He's very much a old man with white hair.
Yeah.
In that respect.
He's somewhat conservative, and he just likes having a central entity to be able to go back to.
Yes.
So, yes, on my cell Gris, I just
separated
for the net. Yes. So I will be moving along. I think I'm going to be working on cell Gris tonight, and then I'll see what I work on tomorrow. I know that since I said Wednesday, I'll be working on the Afghan square. So, big doings here.
Yeah. So, and I might have some sewing next week.
My goodness.
We'll see. We'll talk to you all later. Bye.
Bye.